Hi guys, my name's Craig. Welcome to Small Farmer Life. Hope you're all having an awesome day today. It's absolutely boiling where I am. Hopefully the sun's out where you are. And today guys, we're going to talk about one of the tests the council are going to want you to pass so you can get the right to live on some agricultural land. Now, they're not supposed to use these tests anymore. They got discontinued, so to speak, in favour of the need for a rural workers dwelling. But they still use these tests to prove there's a need for a rural workers dwelling. So if you're looking online to find these tests, that's the reason you can't find them, is because they're not supposed to use them. And that is the financial, the functional and the viable tests that you have to prove that there's a need for a rural workers dwelling. Now, as I've said in the past guys, always get yourself onto your agricultural land first, and before you do that, make sure you've sorted all the fences out, you've put in the electricity, the water, you've done all the infrastructure you're going to need to get your business off to the best start, so when you do move on, the only thing you're concentrating on is the business itself. And in this day and age, I've seen lots of different businesses, from doggy grooming to breeding horses, and even people growing flowers and those sorts of things, getting the right to live on agricultural land. But there's one thing they all had in common: they all moved onto the land first and proved the functional need, the viability test and the financial test after they got on the agricultural land. Now, if you're thinking about buying some land to start a small farm from scratch like me, maybe you want to start a small farming business, or maybe you want to buy some land, start a small holding and live on a small holding. Maybe you want to buy some woodland, start a forestry business and live in the woodland. Or maybe you want to hide from the powers that be for 4 years and 1 day and claim the right of lawfulness in something like a stable block. If you're thinking about doing any of those things guys, think about hitting the subscribe button. Go back, check out some of the videos I've already uploaded to the channel. You might find some useful information in those videos, and also hit the bell button for future videos. But the functional test, which is what we're going to talk about today, is you just proving to the council that there's a functional need to live on the agricultural land. Now, make no bones about it, the council are going to make you live in a caravan for 3 years, or a log cabin, any temporary dwelling, before you get the chance to build anything with bricks and mortar. And when you do get the chance to build something in bricks and mortar, well, they're going to put an agricultural tie on that building. So if you're thinking, I'll build the house, I'll sell it with several acres, it'll be worth a fortune, it's well worth waiting 3 years to do that, well, you'll probably lose 10 to 20% on the value of the house, because the only person who can live in the house is someone working the land or a farm worker. So it'll have an agricultural tie placed on the house itself. But the functional need can come from lots of different things. Now, most of the time it comes from animals. In my case, it would be chickens, and they need to be here all day and night in most cases. Some people have done it with llamas, people do it with horses, breeding horses, and the guy over there has done it with dogs. But I've also read where people have done it when they're growing flowers and also growing crops. So the functional need can come from lots of different areas, like the need to travel backwards and forwards from where you live to the actual business itself, and how much time that takes up. Now, let's say you move on the land and you put in your planning application to stay there so you can prove the functional need, the viability test and the financial test, which we'll talk about in other videos, and the council refuses the planning application at the local level. Well, you'll just appeal it, and the planning inspector who comes down will look at everything: your travel times, how good the business would do if you were on site 24/7, or how good the business is doing because you are on site. Everything to do with your farming business or whatever business you're doing, the planning inspector will look at that, where the local planning officers might not. Now, that's the functional need. So it could be animals, it could be that you being there, you're producing a lot more from the farm and all those sorts of things. Could be security reasons, lots of different things and lots of different factors. If it's lots of little bits of things stuck together, that proves that's the functional need. Now, you also have to prove, or you just have to show, that there's no property local to your farm and business or whatever business it is that you can afford to rent. And when I mean local, I'm talking within half a mile or so, or a property that you can afford to buy. Now, if you're in the countryside, well, they're expensive to rent and they're few and far between. And properties are also expensive to buy. So if you're starting out on a small farm, let's say, you won't have the money to rent a house or buy a house, but you might have the money for a caravan. And that's why I always say, get the caravan on first, because that's what you're going to end up living in most of the time for the first 3 years at least. And then you're going to need the money to build a house if they do grant you planning permission, which they will if you can prove the business is viable, and that's where the viability test comes in. And all they'll do, if you and your partner say, or you and your wife have no kids, they'll just give you planning permission for a 1-bedroom bungalow. They won't give you planning permission for a 4-bedroom house or something like that if there's only 2 years. But let's say there was you, your wife, and you had 4 kids, well then they'll give you planning permission to accommodate you and your family. So that's how the functionality tests work, guys. So if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, and you should subscribe, hit the subscribe button. I'll talk about the viability test and the financial test in another video. My name's Craig, you've been watching The Small Farmer Life. Thanks to all my patrons, couldn't thank you guys enough. Till next time, take care of yourself, most of all take care of the family. Bye for now, see you.